Hello, I'm Pastor Jeremy Combs, and we're going to pause for a proverb. Let's go. We're in Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 24. It says, to keep thee from the strange or evil woman, from the flattering of the tongue of a strange woman. Today, we're introduced to another dangerous person for the wise man, and she's simply described as the evil woman. Now, evil means to break up that which is good in Hebrew, which is fascinating because more good men have been broken up by evil women than by anything else. So, who is this woman, and what makes her way so dangerous? Well, in Proverbs, the evil woman is quickly identified with, like with a lot of people, and that is by her speech. First of all, it emphasizes she speaks with a flattering words. The phraseology in the verse is a flattering tongue. She will say anything to get what she wants, including false praise and foolish propositions. She's a strange woman because her speech is strange to the things of God. She speaks like the world and not holy like he would be. She desires to entangle as many men in her web of wickedness as she possibly can. It's been said that it's a dangerous crisis when a proud heart meets with flattering lips. So men, what we have to do is we have to guard our heart against the pride of thinking too much of ourselves. And ladies, be sure that you're giving sincere praise with sincere motives. The next verse says in verse 25, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Our verse today continues this characterization of an evil woman. Verse 24 spoke of her as having flattering lips. Well, now we come to the epicenter of temptation for the man, and it is through the eye gate. Here we're warned about her fleshly looks. It says, lust not after her beauty. This is a command. Now, there's nothing wrong with recognizing a woman's beauty. In fact, God created women with a unique and I believe a wholesome beauty. The problem lies in what we do as we admire the beauty. Do we compliment that beauty and enjoy and appreciate God's creation, or do we covet that beauty? Do we look and then move on, or do we lust and allow thoughts of admirations to then become thoughts of adultery? This verse concludes with the warning of her flirtatious leadings. She intentionally tries to capture his attention with her attitude and with her attire. Let me say this to you ladies. May you never desire and dress to attract men by lustful pleasures. Instead, instead of wanting to please men, you ought to want to be pleasing to God. The next verse, verse 26, is a great warning. It says, for by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. If you want to be healthy, there are many things that you must do. Of course, you've got to exercise, you've got to eat right, but then there's a lot of things you just simply cannot do. What good does it do to go walk 5 miles and eat a salad for lunch and then have pizza, French fries, ice cream, and homemade cookies, etc. for supper? We praise somebody, in fact, when physically they're working on it, and we have cake and they say, well, no, thank you. It's amazing we're then very slow to praise somebody and encourage them when they decide spiritually, I can't have that. In fact, sometimes we ridicule them and we mock them. Can I tell you, the danger of immorality is that it destroys a person piece by piece. It destroys them physically, it destroys them spiritually, it destroys them mentally. In fact, it even destroys them emotionally. The best way Solomon can describe how this process works is by describing it like a piece of bread. Breaking of bread was common in a Jewish home, and what you do is, as you entered the home and began to eat, they would take the bread out and they would break piece by piece, and they would give it to somebody. It's by the means of a whorish woman. This is someone that is selling themselves. A man is brought to a piece of bread, and he's just given away piece by piece by piece until there is nothing left. Our purity must be prized, and it must be protected. Hey, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.